Hello, I'm the Doctor. Welcome to DoctorGeek. So it came a little earlier than expected, but with 17 days to go before the premiere, we got our second trailer for Series 11, and compared to the first trailer, this one gives us a lot more to go on. Now, I'm sure I haven't caught every detail in this trailer, so please let me know if you think I missed something. But with that, let's get started. Okay, so right off the bat, we're in space. And these are just some establishing shots, most likely all from episode 2, called The Ghost Monument. We talked in my last video about how this desert planet with multiple suns that we saw a lot of in trailer 1 is almost certainly from the week 2 episode. And we see a lot more of that episode in this trailer. We next see this spaceship that seems to have just landed on the planet, and 3 people have just exited and are walking out into the desert. This is possibly Sean Dooley's character and his crew. And then, through the sandstorm, we see our Doctor emerge.
I'm the Doctor. When people need help, I never refuse. What do we do?
Why are you asking her?
Because she's in charge, bro.
Says who?
Says us. Let's get a shift on.
Next, we get another glimpse of the sonic screwdriver, likely from later in the season. And if you look closely in the background, you can see a figure behind the Doctor that doesn't look too friendly. Although, I may just be a little prejudiced because it looks like this person has no face, and that's kinda creepy. I think there is another person to the side here as well, so this is probably a new race of aliens, and possibly the Ux or the Umbrine from Chris Chibnall's Clues. Let me know what you think they are in the comments. We jump back to the first episode for the next clip with the Doctor in her 12 clothes, and it's the scene where she's making her sonic screwdriver. You can see that there's smoke in the air all around her, and the Doctor is holding a hammer and a pair of pliers, using them as she explains to her new companions that when people need help, she never refuses. The next scene is one of my favorites, as the Doctor's companions are in a hospital and are trying to explain to an arrogant guy that the Doctor is in charge. So this is probably later in the season, after the Doctor has fully won the confidence of her new companions, as they clearly trust her a lot by this point. I really love the Doctor's look here too. Something about it is just so doctor-y to me. So I think Jodie's doing a really great job of conveying just the right amount of weirdness to this role. Finally, we get this strange new catchphrase of the Doctor, "Let's get a shift on."
Let's get a shift on.
That I swear I had to listen to about 5 times just to be sure I was understanding it correctly. I don't know how I feel about it yet, or if this is a one-time deal or if it's going to be a season-long thing, but I guess she pulls it off well. To me, it sounds made up, but if you know what this means, or if you know that it's actually a saying somewhere, please let me know. We're back to episode 2 now, as the TARDIS team are in a large structure in the middle of the desert. We'll see them walk up to this later in the trailer, but we saw them walking towards it in the first trailer. There are a good amount of enemies shooting at them, and honestly, it's kind of surprising that so many shooters could miss so many people. But maybe these guys are just trying to scare them off. There were some set photos of these guys, with people speculating that they might be Centaurans. But to me, they don't look like Centaurans. At least, not normal Centaurans. They just look a little too thin to me. But there was a rumor that some genetically different Centaurans could make their way into the season, so I won't completely rule them out until we see their faces. The Doctor is getting shot at in one of the next scenes by a gun that looks very similar to these red blasts, so it's possible that that scene is from episode 2 as well. There's a quick shot of the Doctor in a spaceship, and it looks like this also might be Sean Dooley again, so I'm going to guess that this is the same ship that we saw in the beginning of this trailer from episode 2. We next get a look at Graham detonating something, and this clip is from the same episode as this scene from trailer 1, as we can see that he has some sort of chip or device attached to his head, which we'll also see come up again a few more times in this trailer. There's a badass clip of Yasmin running from an explosion, and then a shot of someone firing a weapon, but it's too far away to see exactly who it is. Next, we get some good old-fashioned running through corridors that Doctor Who is known for, with the Doctor wearing her red shirt, so this is at least episode 3 or later. And then we see Ryan get a surprise when he opens a cupboard and sees something alive and moving. From the stills here, it looks like it could be an egg, but it also looks kind of soft to me, so I'm going to guess it's some kind of pod or cocoon or something. Either way, it probably doesn't look too pretty, judging by Ryan's reaction.
I feel glorious, glorious, got a chance to start again.
I'm just a traveller.
So this section is pretty easy to sum up. We get a quick shot of the Doctor staring off into space, which could be from anything, but it's followed by some more shots of the first 3 episodes. There's the TARDIS team admiring the 2 or 3 suns on this alien planet from episode 2, the Doctor working on her sonic screwdriver in episode 1, the 4 of them walking down the street in the 60s from the Rosa Parks episode in week 3, as we can see in the cars and the clothes in the background that they're all 60s themed, and the Doctor is wearing her red shirt, which we saw in these promo pictures from a few months ago. And then we jump back to episode 2 with them walking up to that structure that we saw them getting shot out of just a few seconds ago. Finally, we're back to episode 1 as the Doctor in her 12 clothes explains to someone, probably one of her new companions, that she's just a traveler.
I was born for this.
Sometimes I see things need fixing. Do what I can.
The next scene is probably the weirdest in the whole trailer, as the Doctor walks into what looks like a waiting room of some sort, and the color scheme here reminds me a lot of that structure from episode 2 we just saw, but since none of these extra characters look familiar, I'm thinking that's just a coincidence. We can see Ryan and Graham in the corner, but Yasmin is nowhere to be seen, and strangely, on the left here, there appears to be a pregnant man. So, that sounds like an interesting storyline. We get another shot of the Doctor using her pretty orange sonic screwdriver, and the actress here is Tanya Fear, who shot her scenes in the 3rd filming block, so this is likely in the back half of the series. There's a glimpse of Ryan and Yasmin looking nervous, and it looks like they're wearing their episode 1 clothes based off of that promo picture from last week that we looked at in my last video. And then, we go back to that Graham episode from before, as he has that same chip on his temple. We can see Ryan in this shot too, but it's too dark to see if he's also wearing that chip. But in the next scene, we can see the Doctor running, and she too has a chip on her temple. So, the question is this just some sort of listening device or something that they're using to stay in communication? Or is it something more sinister? The Doctor says, "Sometimes I see things need fixing, and I do what I can."
I made it through the darkest part of the night, and now I see the sunrise. Now I feel glorious, glorious.
In this last section, we see a longer version of the clip with Sean Dooley from episode 2 from the first trailer, with the group standing scared. But this time, we see what's scaring them, as ghost-like black sheets fly all around them. Next, we get 2 clips that are probably from the same episode, as first, Ryan looks under a desk to see a large spider, and then, in the next scene, both Ryan and Graham are chased by a giant spider. I'm guessing that whatever Ryan saw in that cupboard from earlier was probably also related to these giant spiders, and it will be interesting to see if there's any correlation to the spiders from the 3rd Doctor's serial, Planet of the Spiders. We see Yasmin kick a bag of something down the same corridors that the Doctor was running down earlier, and then we see the Doctor in distress as she reaches up towards something unseen. If you look in the dirt around her, it looks like you can see some footprints of a creature that may have done her harm. A spaceship materializes in space, and it looks like it might be the same one from the beginning of the trailer, but I say might because I think it looks slightly different. But let me know in the comments if you think it's the same one. In the penultimate scene, there seems to be a ball of wires and metal moving over the Doctor, who's standing in a train, and the Doctor is in her original outfit. Since the leaked footage from a few months ago of episode 1 showed us the Doctor on a train, we know that this is early in that episode, likely right before or right after she first meets Ryan and Yasmin. So, is this the enemy of week 1? Or is this just an effect of one of its powers? I can't wait to find out. In the last clip, we see the Doctor slowly departing a glowing room, blowing a kiss to something as she leaves. A friend of mine joked that this may be the Doctor waving goodbye to her manhood and embracing her femininity. And while that's a funny idea, I honestly would not be surprised if that turned out to be the case. Maybe this is a new room in the TARDIS for all of the things that she no longer needs in her life anymore. Either way, based on her shirt color, I think this is likely the very start of the season or towards the very end of it. So, my money is on the end of episode 1. At the end, we get our Series 11 tagline, "It's about time." And I couldn't agree more. Series 11 starts in a little over 2 weeks, and we've all been waiting for this for way longer than we deserve. This trailer honestly looks pretty fantastic, and it's doing its job of getting me even more excited than I already was. So, what was your favorite part of the trailer, and what do you think of the set designs that we've seen so far? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and click the bell for notifications so you don't miss a single video. There's going to be a lot more coming out ahead of the premiere, and I'm currently working on a super fun compilation video for next week that I think you're all really going to enjoy. With that, I hope you enjoyed my breakdown of this trailer, and thank you all for being my companions on this journey today. I'm the Doctor. Bye for now.